Today, my friends, if you are looking for any Town Hall 12 attack strategies and don't know which are the most consistent and strongest, then this video we are going to go over 5 of the strongest Town Hall 12 strategies to use right now. So that's right, guys, we are going over the 5 strongest Town Hall 12 strategies that you guys can be using right now. We're going to be starting off with Electrone Lalo. So let me give you a sort of breakdown of the Electrone Lalo from this base here. The main reason to why we are using this is because we can sort of create some of that pathing, which is going to be really nice with the Electrone. So what we want to make sure that we're doing is doing 2 things. We are using a Sui hero and we are using the Electrone kill squad. So what we're doing is we're going to first start out by using the king and queen, the Sui hero. The king's going down this way. The queen's going to go right into the base. And then we're going to also use a Pekka to funnel out the queen over here. So this is what you're seeing. So you have the Pekka here, which is going to basically be able to sort of create that side of the funnel. We have the queen, which you may be able to see a little bit there. And then we've also got the king right here. And the idea is that we are using the king on the left side to create the funnel for that queen. We're using the Pekka on the right side in order to sort of create that side of the funnel. And then we have the queen going straight up the middle. In terms of that, we also have the Ice Golem, which is going to be used as a tank to help the queen get through everything like that. And then we also have the wall breakers. Now we're using regular wall breakers, but we want to break in so we can get rid of this section here, so we can then use our Electrone this way. That is the whole point. Now, you don't always have to do this, so don't get me wrong, the use of the wall breakers is definitely going to be very helpful, but it's always going to be determined from base to base. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. Other times, though, it may be a good idea to bring them, but I would say in this example, it was good because you're getting rid of a multi-inferno and also an air defense, so you don't really have to worry about it, but other times you really wouldn't need to bring wall breakers. Now, on top of this, we are going ahead and using the Electrone portion, which is basically going to be sending in the blimp or even a slammer, depends on where the queen is, and it also depends on how the defenses are placed. So on this bottom section here, this is really going to be a very troubling area for using the slammer. So using the blimp is a lot better because it gets us right into the base, and then we could use our 2 clone spells and actually have those balloons scatter around the base somewhat in order to deal with all of the defenses to create that pathing. That's what we're doing, and that is exactly the whole point of this. And of course, getting rid of the enemy CC and the enemy queen are going to be the next top priorities. So if we go ahead and play this, just so that then you guys can see what's going on, we're going to drop in a couple loons. This is just to sort of take down the archer tower, even though it's not really enough, and we would probably need to use another one. We can use the king, and that's going to sort of create the other side of the funnel. So you see that what we're doing is we have the Pekka on the right, king on the left, then we have the Ice Golem and queen moving here. Notice how we're going to be using a free spell on top of the multi-inferno in order to get those wall breakers to break open the wall. That is the entire point of using the wall breakers. Now, as you can see, as we're driving into the base, the big thing here is that Ice Golem is tanking for us, especially since we want to make sure that our queen is being tanked for, so we don't need to worry about that. We're saving her ability and all of it. Now, you'll see that with the Electrone portion, we're actually going to be able to clear a large section of that base in terms of, where the air defenses are. We're still going to get 2 air defenses, which is good, and we're creating that pathing. And that's what's going to really help this attack. So now what we can see from here, if we pause it here, notice how now we have cleared basically this entire section of the base, which is really, really good considering that this was all, fairly compact. So that means that we got rid of a part of it with the Sui hero and part of it with the Electrone. So we've got some easy pathing. And what we're now what we can now do is actually start using our Lavaloon towards the Town Hall. That is going to be a big defense. Of course, you don't want a 1-star, you want a 2-star or even 3-star. So this is really where you've got to learn with the Electrone portion, is that you want to make sure that you're sending everything in. Once you're sort of going towards that Town Hall, you should be completely fine. as you can see, as we're going towards the town hall, we're going to pop the warden ability, and that's going to allow us to basically take it out with ease. Really not that hard, and it allows us to get rid of that, and the warden ability is just enough to get through that town hall. Outside of that though, we're just going to use our haste spells periodically throughout the base, which means that we're going to try and make sure that we are hasting up our balloons through, to get to those air defenses, multi-infernos, wizard towers, eagle, town hall. Really anything that hits air is going to be very, very important to haste into, but it always depends on the number of haste spells you're bringing. Now, you may have already noticed as well that on the left side of me, you've got just a couple of the number of balloons. I've been sort of using that for a little bit there. But either way, that kind of gives you guys the idea of how many balloons you really need in order to take down the town hall, the eagle, and stuff like that. So you guys, this is very universal, so definitely it works for Town Hall 9 all the way up to Town Hall 13. So that is the number 5 strategy. This works extremely well, and it really allows you to get really good triples with the Lavaloon strategy. So this is number 5, but let's go ahead and take a look at what the number 4 attack strategy is. So the number 4 strategy here is going to be Pekka BoBat. Now, here's the reason to why I kind of put it a little bit higher. Dragbat is right now by far a lot better than Pekka BoBat. But since I didn't really see any Dragbats and I couldn't really put it into this video, we're going to be saying that Pekka BoBat here is going to be number 4. It isn't really as common. Again, a lot of the time, bat spell strategies are going to be a little bit harder, except for Dragbat, of course. But Pekka BoBat is definitely a niche strategy. It works on base designs where, those multi-infernos, or even if they're single infernos, something still to be wary of. You got to make sure that you are still applying yourself in terms of which base designs. Again, there's a lot of splash damage at Town Hall 12. You have 3 Infernos, you have 5 Wizard Towers, and the Town Hall, so there's a lot to really deal with. So if you are able to identify the right base, get 2 Multi-Infernos, which is almost now something that I'm typically seeing, because you never want to deal with 2 Multi-Infernos with the bat portion. You want to get 2 Multi-Infernos with your kill squad, as well as getting as many Wizard Towers and the Town Hall. This is really where you can open yourself up to bringing a jump spell, where you can get a little bit deeper into the base, and you can really allow yourself to sort of get use that for more tanking on wizard towers, even if your queen is doing that. So that is going to be really the big thing in terms of this. Other than that, though, from this base here, you just got to really take a look at where the Town Hall is in comparison to everything else. So you can see that this is really where we're going to be entering in from. We're going to have access to both Multi-Infernos, 2 Wizard Towers, and as we're working our way through, we don't really need to worry about the Eagle so much. Unlike my previous Town Hall 11 video where the Eagle wasn't really, taken care of and stuff. It's not really a big issue, especially if we can just bat bomb this top side here. That's actually one of the biggest tips I can give for any of the town halls between Town Hall 10 through Town Hall 13. If you are going to use bats, take advantage of this. That is an easy bat bomb, and you're taking care of 2 splash damage with the bats. And you're using that with only 1 free spell. That's a lot of really good value there. Outside of that, though, it's going to be really easy to use. That's all I can say. It's a Pekka BoBat, so it's very, very easy. Now, what you're also doing on top of this, and this is used a lot really at Town Hall 12, starting at Town Hall 12, you can really take advantage of this. Warden walks are a lot better to do. Warden walks are basically using the warden like you see right here in order to sort of funnel out a particular area. So that is really the whole deal with this. So you'll see that we're creating one side of the funnel with the king. That's going to allow our Pekkas to move in and our bowlers. But we're using the warden here to carve out an area of his own right here in order to kind of set something that kind of looks like this. That's what we're looking at here basically. So then as we're setting the funnel, after we set the funnel, then we can start to send everything in. Our Pekkas, our bowlers from behind all of those Pekkas, and then also going in with the queen right behind everything else, and then the warden will of course stay back. So as everything starts to move into the base, we want to make sure that we are taking care of as much value as possible. Dealing with the enemy CC is really not too hard either. It's pretty simple. Outside of that though, Warden ability should be used around the core of the base to get everything in. If you need to use a jump spell a little bit earlier on in order to make sure that if the wall wrecker or the wall wrecker does pop, then you could use that jump spell and get a little bit deeper. Now you'll see from here is that if I pause it, notice how we got 2 wizard towers. We're going to have access to a third one. We're getting rid of the town hall, and we took care of 2 multi-infernos. That is huge, because that's going to allow us to use a bat wave. So you'll see that right here. So when I zoom in, you guys can see that we are going ahead and using the bat bomb, which means we have a rage. We also have the bats and the freeze, and that takes care of that entire section there. So that's a really simple way for you guys to kind of use bats, and then using an ice golem like you see right there in order to act as a free spell and a tank for those bats allows you to really easily get the triple with this, especially when there aren't really many defenses outside of the range of the wizard tower, which is something in terms of base building that you should try to do. Outside of that though, you guys can easily get the triple with Pekka BoBat. So this is a really good example, and I hope that you guys kind of learn something from each of these. I want to make sure that these are all helpful. So hopefully you guys can take away something from all of this. Now let's go ahead and move on into our number 3 attack strategy for Town Hall 12. So the number 3 strategy here is Pekka Smash. Yes, you heard me right. Pekka Smash is a really strong strategy, and if you haven't tried it at Town Hall 11, this is definitely the time to try it. A lot of players I know will use ring bases, but there is definitely a handful of people who will not use ring bases. Sometimes ring bases at Town Hall 12 aren't really as effective, but of course, you will still see them. Outside of this though, Pekka Smash is still one of the more consistent Town Hall 12 strategies to use right now. It has always been meta, especially since it has been meta around Town Hall 11, so it definitely works at Town Hall 12 and even Town Hall 13. So, of course, again, you are starting this strategy with the Warden Walk. Very similar to the Pekka BoBat. What you're doing, though, is you're using the Warden Walk to sort of clear out an area here. So that means that what we're doing is we're setting this side of the funnel. We're making sure that we can have everything drive themselves into the base here. Now you'll notice that we have a double jump in this example. You guys can also go ahead and if you feel the need to instead of bringing double jump, bring 1 jump and a quad quake. This is going to allow you sometimes to get even deeper into the base than really any other way of breaking in. Now, another thing you may notice is that we are using the blimp here. The blimp is the slammer. We're using the slammer in this case in order to make sure that we are using the balloons from that slammer to basically go ahead and clear at least most of the back end portion. So you'll see as we're going in, that's what we'll kind of talk about. So I want to really quickly go over this part here. We're going right into the town hall. We've created the funnel on either side here. None of the bowlers are going to walk. And we have everything moving into the base, easily dealing with the town hall. We don't even need to go into the town hall compartment. And on top of that, we're just working our way through with the double jump. That's a really simple way of getting through it. Now, what about the stone slammer? So the stone slammer is going to go in around where the mortar is. Or around where the archer tower is. But what we are going to see, going towards the mortar, but you'll see that we're getting easy pathing with this slammer. So we're moving our way kind of like this, slowly but surely, around the base. This is going to allow us to use the slammer in order to soak up. And, well, of course, we want to try and soak up damage. On top of this, though, we want to make sure that we're taking down the defenses. So it's almost like a back-end balloon, basically. But it is a much more useful siege in terms of this. Of course, the other alternative is the siege barrack. But I know that a lot of you guys don't have the siege barrack, or you don't really have a lot of 13s in your clans, which means that the use of the slammer is a great option, and it's actually one of the more preferred options. So you'll see that when we're using the balloons, we want to make sure that we are also using a haste spell to get those balloons right to those defenses. So you see they take down the multi-inferno, and that's really easy. So you guys get the idea in terms of this strategy and what you're sort of looking for. This is a pure smash, so you're not looking for really any sort of key value. Just create the funnel, then send everything in. You should be able to deal with the enemy CC as you're sending everything in. If it's an E-Drag, I would highly encourage you guys to use your ability early on. That way, when you poison up the enemy CC and you use your queen to kill off the enemy E-Drag, you should be fine. So that is number 3. Let's go ahead and show you guys the number 2 strategy. So our number 2 strategy here is Dragbat, and Dragbat is pretty consistent now. I mean, it is really strong. I haven't seen it too much, but it's definitely starting to creep up into the meta, and I would definitely say that Dragbat is a very solid strategy to use right now, especially when you see where you can get a lot of really good value from your dragging kill squad. On top of this, take a look at the use of the siege. Notice how we are using the blimp here. And another thing I want to really point out for you guys is I have been, showing you guys all these strategies that don't even have access to the siege barrack. So I want to really make this not so much to where these are attacks that you guys can use without the siege barrack, but all of these attacks can be used mostly as some new Town Hall 12s, at least when you're hitting newer Town Hall 12s as well. Outside of that, though, this doesn't have access to, or none of these replays that I'm showing you use the siege barrack. Of course, you can use it with things like the Pekka smash. You can use it with things like the hybrid. But outside of that, what you're seeing from this video is it's showing you guys other strategies that don't just use the siege barrack and will also use other siege machines. So when you're using a blimp in this case, we're using it right to the town hall. This allows us to sort of clear anywhere. So that's going to be a really big thing. So what we are looking at is we are going to be using a Sui hero over here. This is going to allow us to sort of clear out this section and sort of get some value. And then on the opposite side, we will see maybe a minion and also the E-Drag. So that's where that E-Drag is going to be able to get a lot more of the value. So you'll see that with the king and queen, we're just trying to sort of get something from the outside. So we're using the queen to take care of the take care of the wizard tower and the archer tower. Over here, we're getting chain value, and that also includes onto the inside of the base. Notice how we're able to easily almost take down that archer tower or air defense, and then we also are able to sort of chain right onto the inside, and we can easily take out this entire section right here, and that's really good, really good value. So you'll see from here is that we're dropping in a dragon over here, and that's going to carve out the funnel. So as we're sending everything in, we can send in our dragons right towards these 2 multi-infernos. This is a big thing. I want you guys to remember this. You want to make sure that you are going ahead and going into the area where there are 2 multi-infernos. This is really important because as any Town Hall 12 is, because there's 3 infernos, you want to take care of 2 of them if you are using bat spell attacks. Like you saw with Pekka BoBat, we got 2, very similar here. That's really simple, and it kind of gives you guys that really easy understanding of this. Now, as we're sending everything in, we're going to delay on using our blimp. So you'll see that the blimp is going to go in so we can take advantage of the warden ability. So as everything moving in, we can then pop that warden just in case there is a seeking air mine there that will pop the blimp early. And we want to make sure that we are having that blimp go in order to take down the town hall. After that, though, we can then focus in on one particular section here, the bat wave. So you'll see that we're going to play it right here so you can see the rage bats freeze, or rage freeze bats, getting rid of that entire section there and clearing out the rest of those defenses. Here is the big reason to why we went ahead and bat bombed right there. The bat bomb, of course, like you saw in the Pekka BoBat, we used it on top of the multi-inferno and wizard tower that were basically almost near each other, which means that 100% that is what you want to take advantage of. So remember to keep that in mind when you guys are using this or any bat spell attack. Now, if you need to, definitely bring in Ice Golem if you don't think that, you're going to have any more dragons left and all of that. So make sure that you are bringing in Ice Golem just in case you know that you won't be able to take care of another wizard tower without it. So that's definitely something I would highly recommend. Now let's go ahead and move into the top one strategy, the last strategy here that we're going to be showcasing, but also the top strategy to use in at Town Hall 12. And of course, the number one strategy has to be hybrid. Hybrid is everywhere at Town Hall 12. Don't get me wrong. Literally, this is the one attack strategy that people always try to defend, and yet it still gets triples. So I would definitely say, if you're at Town Hall 12, or if you're looking to go into Town Hall 12, this is going to be your number one strategy. I would definitely say that Dragbat is number 2. I just saw it, a little bit before I started this last recording, and it got 99% 2-star, but it is really strong and it's slowly creeping up. So Dragbat is definitely another really good option for the number 2 slot. So I would definitely say if you're looking to upgrade, what to upgrade at Town Hall 12 in terms of the lab, hybrid and then Dragbat is going to be 100% what you should be doing. Now with hybrid, you'll see that instead of showing you guys one with a siege barrack, we're going to show you guys this with the Yeti bomb. And moreover, we're looking at this against double single infernos and 1 multi. This is basically like dealing with 3 singles. So what we're going to be seeing is the blimp is going to go into this section here and clear out the single inferno. What we're then going to do is have our queen walk here. We don't have the only thing that is going to allow us to charge in is going to be the super wall breaker, which we can of course use to get right into the town hall if we want to. And then probably what we can do is use the king on this side. That's going to clear out a funnel there, and we could send in our hybrid right into the multi-inferno. That is really, really simple. And if we go ahead and take a look at take a look at where the CC is, we can easily lure out the enemy clan castle by using that blimp and then using the Yetis, because they would be on ground, to pull the rest of the CC if there was an air CC, like a baby dragon that hits air and ground, and then just a just ground CC. So like a lava hound is definitely one that will only trigger if the ground troops get in range. So that's just all like the big things that you really need to identify. Outside of this though, what you're going to see from here is that we're going to Yeti bomb. So this is big, especially if you want to make sure that you are sort of clearing out an area for the queen to walk. So the reason that we're doing this with the single inferno is we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to deal with the single inferno. So what we're doing here is we're using that Yeti bomb in order to sort of clear that entire section and allow our queen to walk this way. That is huge with an attack like this. Now outside of that though, all you really want to make sure that you are doing is making sure that you are able to sort of move your way to the right area. So right here is definitely going to be your big area in order to move into. Now we're going to take our time in terms of creating the funnel. We already created that funnel for the queen. There's no reason to charge into the single inferno, and we don't really need to worry about it with the queen. Now this is where you guys have to pick and choose in terms of where you want to be able to either drop a baby dragon or even the king. So if we are going to be charging right into the town hall, we want to use a couple of those balloons and a baby dragon like you see over at 9 o'clock in order to get the queen to go into the base. This means that we're going to easily get the 1-star here, or maybe the 2-star. As long as we're getting rid of the town hall, that is huge. So we're going to take care of the wall and open up that entire section. Then we're going to use the king here, and that's going to funnel us in. And now you'll see we have pathing like this. That is really what we're taking a look at with the hybrid. We were able to get a funnel made from the king. We're going to have a funnel made from the queen, and now everything is moving in like this. So what about this top compartment here? You could Yeti bomb that too. It's definitely entirely possible, but there was more value at 6 o'clock than there was at 12 o'clock. So you'll see that as we're sending everything in, We're popping the Warren ability early as they drive into the core. That way we are able to protect our miners and hog riders as they enter into the base. And then after we dealt with the enemy CC, which was witches and an ice golem, we're able to easily use our hybrid, use the heal spells to get them all healed up as they go through, using the rage spell if there are any left over, and then just allowing ourselves to really easily get through the rest of the base. And that is how simple this strategy really is. So hopefully that this really helps you guys sort of understand all of these attacks. And if this did help you, remember to leave a like. It really will help the channel. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Really does mean a lot as we are driving our way up to 10K. Another thing is, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. Feel free to go ahead and follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, and follow me over on Madcat and Twitch, where I will be streaming. And another thing is, feel free to join any of the clans that I cover within this game of Clash of Clans. Also, feel free to go ahead and if you guys are looking for an esports clan or an esports organization, then definitely Aphelion has got you. Join their Discord in the description. Another thing is, feel free to go ahead and support me further by, joining as a channel member or even subscribing on Twitch. But with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.